The animal world and all wildlife never ceases to amaze us. There is so much in the world that people still cannot study everything that is in it. We have already talked about many, but today there will be creatures that can surprise you. Microgaster Godzilla, reign of spiders, and some from the list build themselves a home in the anus of another animal, and much more in this issue. Murmuration of starlings. Winter in the warmer parts of the planet brings with it one of the most spectacular phenomena in nature. This is the murmuration of starlings. This phenomenon occurs when huge flocks of starlings migrate to warmer corners of the planet. During migration, these flocks turn into a single organism, which begins to perform the so-called dance of starlings. And thanks to the coordinated flight in which each individual bird understands what it needs to do, this dance creates incredibly beautiful, three-dimensional, dynamic figures with clearly defined contours. How does such a coordinated action occur without birds colliding with each other? It's simple. Each bird has full visibility in all directions, which allows them to receive maximum information on each member of the flock. Reign of spiders is a real nightmare. Just look. Hundreds of spiders weave their webs in the sky. This is truly strange. It seems that the apocalypse has come, in which the main role will be played by spiders that feed from all sides. But all this can be explained. Such spider rains occur every year all over the world. Every year in May and August, newborn spiders climb high into the trees where they weave something similar to a parachute from their web. The wind picks them up and moves them over long distances. Often, spiders land in forested areas, but it also happens that the wind suddenly changes direction or suddenly stops, causing spiders to land in various cities and settlements, greatly frightening people. Frozen iguanas. Abnormally low temperatures also bring with them anomalous phenomena. At the beginning of 2018 in the United States, iguanas literally fell from trees. In Florida, it was so cold in the first week of 2018 that the local iguanas simply froze and fell from the trees. In those days, you could find a frozen iguana lying down absolutely everywhere. But you shouldn't make hasty conclusions and get upset ahead of time. They are not dead. They are just in shock from such a low temperature. Large iguanas simply cannot move when the temperature is very low for them. Over time, they will warm up in the sun and will be able to live in peace. Crows are cleaners. Crows are very smart animals. Observing their behavior, you will very soon discover how smart they are. And you will also find out that they love collecting various types of garbage. For what? Unclear. But one thing we know for sure is that people who saw crows have such an interest in garbage. We decided to channel their curiosity in the right direction. In one of the French amusement parks, workers trained crows to collect paper, cigarette butts and other garbage. And as a reward, the crows receive food. Now these smart birds are full-fledged employees of the park. Pufferfish football. Pufferfish, as you probably know, are very poisonous, and there is still no antidote for eating these fish. But this doesn't bother the dolphins at all. They understand that positive emotions make life much brighter, and these fish play football. This seems strange for animals with such intelligence. Why play with dangerous fish that are incredibly toxic? It's really simple. The poison of pufferfish accumulates in the ovary or liver of the fish, and in order to get poisoned, you need to eat it. Dolphins understand this, and therefore, instead of eating, they simply play with this fish so as not to get bored. Dancing spotted skunk. Perhaps few people have seen a frightened spotted skunk, but those who have had the chance to meet one. They know that before an attack, a skunk raises its tail with its front paws and hisses, warning that it will defend itself. However, it is much less common to see another strange method of warning, reminiscent of a dance like breakdancing, when a spotted skunk with its tail raised walks on its front paws in front of the enemy. This no longer looks like protection, but turns into some kind of clumsy dance. And this behavior, extremely strange for a wild animal, is followed by the quite usual release of a foul-smelling liquid at the enemy. which is released through its glands. Snake rage. A rabid snake is probably one of the strangest things we've ever seen, and this fury was captured on camera. In this video, you can see a very ordinary snake that is just slowly crawling towards the shore. Suddenly something stops it, and it begins to curl on the ground. After a short time spent in this state, the snake at some point, without any reason, bites itself, and at the same moment begins to tumble uncontrollably in different directions. Tumbling so hard it starts to feel like a seizure, and at the end of the video, the snake dies from its own bite. We don't know the exact answer to the question of why the snake behaved so strangely, but it's clearly something abnormal. Microgaster Godzilla. Have you ever thought that is there a wasp in the world that can swim underwater? This is not typical for wasps, but such a wasp still exists, and it was discovered quite recently. Its name is as strange as its behavior. Microgaster Godzilla is named after the giant monster from the well-known films in which it spectacularly emerges from the water, just like a wasp. Microgaster Godzilla parasitizes moth larvae. These caterpillars usually hide underwater, surrounding themselves with a kind of cocoon of small leaves in order to become more invisible to predators. Only the wasp knows about this. And while the caterpillar is hiding, Microgaster Godzilla comes out in search of it. She carefully examines the water surface, and if her keen vision catches at least one caterpillar, she immediately dives under it and pulls it to the surface with sharp hooks on her paws, after which she lays eggs directly in the body of her victims. And this is somehow not very similar to Godzilla. Ants kidnap other ants. It's no secret that ants are big fans of teamwork. Their dream is to work hard. But did you know that they are also real criminals who kidnap other ants? This may sound crazy, but it's the absolute truth. If you are ever lucky enough to find yourself in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, you may witness real crime situations with hostages under your feet. You will notice how a huge stream of red ants rushes to find others to take hostage, and there is a whole kidnapping raid going on here. These red ants are known for combing the forest in search of the nests of their potential victims, and then gathering a huge force and storming the nest. Unsuspecting victims simply cannot do anything to this squad and lose the battle. We don't know what they do with the kidnapped ants. Perhaps they are brainwashed, turning them into slaves. Bloody lizard defense. The lizard often becomes a target for predators, and in order to protect themselves, they use a variety of tactics. For example, this seemingly ordinary horned lizard has an extremely strange way of protecting itself from attack. She protects herself from predators with the help of her own blood. In most cases, the horned lizard will simply pretend to be dead or run away. But if the lizard turns out to be a bad athlete or a bad actor, and the predator continues to attack, then their unique mechanism comes into play. In a desperate situation, the reptile shoots blood from the corners of its eyes at a distance of up to 5 meters. Such an unexpected and extremely strange action confuses the predator, and the taste of blood is often unpleasant, and the lizard has time to hide from the offender. Dwellings in a sea cucumber. Have you ever seen something stranger than a sea cucumber? If so, then here is another unusual fact about sea cucumbers that will make you think. There are such impudent fish as carapace, which love to live with sea cucumbers. Just don't live next to them, but live right in them. Yes, you heard right, carapace lives right in sea cucumbers, to be extremely precise, in their anus. They really like it. For this fish, this is the best home imaginable, but for the sea cucumber, this is complete impudence. But he can't do anything about it, and just has to accept his fate as a home for some impudent fish. It would seem that the situation could be even more absurd, but the impudent carapace, settling in the sea cucumber, did not even think about stopping. When this fish begins to starve, it begins to eat the gills and genitals of the cucumber. Fortunately for the sea cucumber, in such a case it has excellent regenerative properties, and such eating of organs does not threaten it with anything serious. Butterflies and turtle tears. If you love butterflies and turtles, then the Western Amazon forest is for you. After all, in them you can see an unusual duet of these two completely different animals, in which butterflies help turtles wipe away their tears, so to speak. It looks incredibly cute, because it looks like butterflies calming turtles after some failure. Unfortunately for all lovers of cute things in the wild, the scientific explanation for this behavior almost completely breaks this idol. Of course, I would like to think that the butterflies somehow help the turtles, but they just receive the mineral macro elements that are so necessary for their health, which are sorely lacking for carnivorous animals in tropical forests. In nature, this phenomenon is quite common. Some parrots lick clay, monkeys eat soil, but butterflies are not given all this, and they have to look for the salty tears of animals. Chimpanzees mourn the death of a friend. People have always thought that animals cannot experience the same strong feelings as we do, and that the desire to mourn the departed is one of the characteristics of humans. What distinguishes our species from other animals? Then we learned that some animals understand what death is and experience special emotions when they see the body of a dead relative. And this video will show you in full what feelings such social animals as Shui experience chimpanzee. In this video, the body of a chimpanzee named Thomas who died of illness was visited by 22 monkeys. They sat for a long time near the body in silence, sometimes touching it with their fingers. Some came up several times and even protected his body from attacks. So they said goodbye to their friend, who had been a member of their community for 9 long years. These are the amazing cases of animal behavior you learned today. Write in the comments what you knew about this, and what was a complete surprise for you. Also, write in the comments what you want to see in the next video. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell to be the first to watch new videos.